we are live, George.
Well, good evening, everyone. Hope we're okay. Welcome to the Arsenal Women Chat Show. We're going to talk about the Derby Day Saturday, and then look forward to hopefully getting the job done on Wednesday. And then, and we've also got a giveaway by the brilliant Ruth Beck. So busy show. So just want to say hello to Catherine in the chat, and hello to Catherine again. Hello to Catherine again. Hello to Catherine again. Hello to Hajjaj. Hope you're doing okay. And Catherine, we were 2 minutes early because when we went live, we started at 4 minutes past 7 last time. So just getting that in there. And if you want to pull a Ryan, there's other type of adult shows for that. But yeah, we'll go. That's another meaning. Right. Just let me introduce you to my guests. Paul, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Just recovered from a busy weekend of work, which is why I missed the game. But yeah, all good now.
Cool, nice one. Good to have you back on. Kev, how are you doing, mate?
I'm still buzzing. Looking forward to Wednesday and Sunday. Bring it all on.
Question is, are you buzzing or are you absolutely buzzing?
Absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, exactly. We're hoping we can get a meme out for that soon. And then we've got Chantel. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Living on a win Saturday, a win Sunday. So football weekend for me it was.
Nice one. Good to have you back on. And then the one and only Laura. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you very much. I'm just recovering from obviously Saturday. My voice is
Well, I weren't that bad, was I?
in the back. What?
I weren't that bad, was I?
Yeah. Nah. You were all right.
Yeah, I was all right.
You were just making deals off the back of everything. So you want to let everybody know what you have to do if you have to make the final of the Champions League.
So when Arsenal make the Champions League final, I've got to dye my hair red because it was a bet I had with Laura. So yeah, that's that. But people will be happy to hear, and especially Dorian and Michael, this will not include face paint. So it will just be the hair this time because and it was like Halloween Massacre Leon last year, so that won't be happening again. So Dorian will be relieved, especially Dorian and Michael. They will be very relieved.
Dorian's just put in the comments, no.
Yeah. But yeah. Cool. So yeah, so you're all good then?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. It's just been one hectic weekend, one thing after another. Obviously flying and game, then obviously flying back to Glasgow last night. But yeah, all good, thank you very much.
Nice one. Right, and hi to Dorian in the chat. And if there's anyone else I've missed, apologies.
James is in as well. So
All right,
yes.
hi James. Hope you're doing all right as well, mate. Right, so let's get started. Obviously, we North London Derby was on Saturday. We had a look at the team. I'll start with you, Kev. Change it up a bit. I never start with you, so put you on the spot. We obviously saw a change in goal, which I'm not going to lie, I was very, very, very happy with. We got our number one back in goal in Van Donsela. Was that something you was expecting, or did you think Borba would play still?
I did expect it because I think there's going to be regular changes in goal because they're two top-class keepers. I mean, Borba's shown that while Daft's been out. So, yeah, didn't surprise me at all. So we can keep them out. So it's just, within reason. We can always score more than you.
Yeah. We'll do it a bit differently today, so we'll do it player by player. But obviously, coming to you, Laura, we saw Van Donsler in goal. That some people said that she was to be blamed for one of the goals, but I want to talk about the positive spin on that. The save that she made after that was absolutely world class, in my opinion. That was like, for someone who watches the men play, that was David Raya-esque for me. Like, what's your opinions on Van Donsler on the whole and that save? Like, all right, we might have won 5-2, but that save was so important, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, especially at such a pivotal time in the game where Tottenham were finding themselves coming back in. That was obviously roughly run about the last 20 minutes of the game. And yeah, you know what? It was nice to see Bobby actually get a rest, because I think you could actually start to see the fatigue in her as well. And that's where we really have something good in terms of goalkeepers, because then we can switch over to Daphne when obviously things like that happen. We obviously know that Daphne can kind of be a little bit injury prone. It seems a thing across Arsenal that certain players always get injury prone. So it's always nice to have that backup in Bobby. I know when that save was made by Daphne that Doreen had a little dig. He turned to me and he was like, see, that's what Daphne can obviously provide for us. And I must take my hat off. Like, I thought she was good. There was a couple of wee things, but as I say, you've got to remember Daff has been out for a little while, so she's probably a little bit rusty at the moment. Let's get her settled back into obviously the games again, and yeah, as I say, we're in a good position where we're going to be able to switch between obviously two decent goalkeepers at the moment. So yeah, all round, I was happy with her performance, but obviously, as you said, there was one that she could have maybe got to, but we'll put it down to rustiness.
Yeah. Hi, Chris. Hi, Ryan. Hope you guys are all right. It's funny you say that, because I did, as soon as that save happened, I did turn and say to Sam and said, "Oh, but Borba's our number one, isn't she?" So I did make a dig. I'm not gonna lie. I just think when you have a fit and firing Daphne Van Donsler and a fit and firing Annika Borba, like, I think Van Donsler is a lot better. I'm not saying that Borba's been rubbish, because I don't think she has. She's done a decent job. I just think Van Donsler's that little bit better.
It's a great debate about the goalkeepers, though, but obviously,
Yeah,
like,
it's nice to
certain
have.
people obviously can see qualities in Boba, and certain people can obviously see qualities in obviously DVD. As I say, it's just nice to have it, and it's refreshing at Arsenal, especially when we've sat and watched Manu for years. Like, it's just refreshing to be able to say, do you know what, we actually have two decent quality goalkeepers, and there's maybe things that Daphne can change, and there's maybe things that Boba can change. It's just and they're two very young goalkeepers as well. Like, let's not forget that they're still very young. There's still a lot of learning from them. So yeah, I think if we can keep the two of them for a while, then yeah, like, we're doing really well.
Yeah, Catherine said, "What battle do we prefer, Manu and Sab or DVD and Borba?" I'd probably say DVD and Borba, because they're both decent keepers. I wasn't that impressed with Sabrina. She had a couple of good games, but that was about it. She can't even get in the Villa team now, can she?
I don't think so. I think she came on yesterday because Ellie Robert got injured. So
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And then lost the game. So
Yeah.
just saying.
Yep.
Paul, obviously still talking about the goalkeepers. Like Laura said, it is a nice problem to have, and it is a nice debate to have, because I don't think I would like to see what the percentage of the fan base and what way they would go. But obviously, in the game on Saturday, Do you think, obviously, with Van Donser offering more as that goalkeeper, because with Borba, she just stays on the line, and I think some top players like that Chelsea do have kind of tried to find her out the other day, but with Van Donser, she probably one of the best goalkeepers in the league on her day, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she does come out and into the box a bit more than Borba, especially when it comes to the likes of corners and set pieces in there. But I say we got two quality goalkeepers there, and to have them both fit, both playing at the top of the game, is fantastic. Because as a goalkeeper, if you're sat on the bench for the whole season, and then one gets injured with like 2 games to go, you're coming off that bench. You're not just a little bit rusty because you've missed 3 or 4 games. You've missed 90% of the season, and that last couple of games could be critical in where you're going to be. So to have 2 goalkeepers of this caliber in that team is fantastic.
Yeah. Darren has said evening legends, but evening to Kevin Paul also. So I'll let you two start on in with that. And also hello to other people in the chat. We will be chatting about Freedom Mornham later. It won't be that long, but we will be talking about her. Chantel, coming to you, obviously a really, really positive sign is that we saw Steph Catley back in the back four. That's absolutely massive, isn't it? That she managed to get a whole game under her belt, and with obviously Wednesday coming up, she's kind of become indispensable now, hasn't she?
Yeah, I think seeing like her go for the International Cup, you could see like the partnership between Laura and Laya, but like I love Laya, but she's just not Steph Catley, and I think Steph brings a little bit of calmness, and with her being Australia's captain, I think she captains the back line really well, and her and Lotta's been creating a nice duo partnership in the centre back to like make it a little bit harder for attackers. And I think going into the Chelsea game, I think it was very vital that Steph got a game back before Chelsea, because it just like settles the fundamentals of like going back to the WSL, what to expect with like the different teams, and like creating that partnership between her and Lotta, because ideally I think it's going to be them two that starts for the Chelsea game. And like from watching her, she slotted in perfectly, as if she hadn't been away. So it was nice to see her back.
Yeah. Then obviously, Laura, coming to you, I just want to chat about Smila Holmberg. I think we've got an amazing young talent on our hands there. Like the way she's been playing, we haven't minded kind of resting or rotating Emily Fox, have we? Because how effective she's been defensively and more attacking wise on the wing as well.
Yeah, actually, it was really nice to actually see her get a full 90 minutes, and what a 90 minutes she had. Like, I think at some points, like towards the end, she really had us on her feet. Like, she was really, really trying to get that goal, wasn't she? Like, and I think most of us in that stadium were like, come on, Smila, get the goal. We just need you to get the goal. We desperately want you to get it. But what an exciting prospect we have at Arsenal, like having a player like that. I mentioned this in obviously my vlog that will come out. Do you know something? When I looked at that lineup, I didn't worry, because I was like, I really want to see what she's able to do, especially in a game like Tottenham. I know they're not they're not a big club anymore, so like they weren't going to push us as much as people would have probably thought. And in terms of that some people probably looked at that and thought, why is Emily Fox not starting? But genuinely, I genuinely wasn't worried when I seen her on the team sheet, and I was genuinely excited to see her start that one. And yeah, I thought she had a smashing game. And do you know something? I think it's going to be another Emily Fox situation. She's going to have such a good season when she gets a full season with us, and it's going to go under the radar like Emily Fox has. And what can you say? She's learning from the best as well. Like one of the best right backs in the world, and she's learning from the best. If you were to turn around and say, "Oh, who would you like to learn your career?" then Emily Fox has got to be one of the people up there.
Yeah. Also, evening to the legend, Reese. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you on Saturday and meet your daughter as well. Hope
Nice to
you
meet
had
you,
a
Reece.
nice, hope you had a nice travel back. Cool. I've kept this bit because I don't really think he's much of a fan. But Kev, I'll come to you. We'll talk about Alessia Russo. Yeah. Mate, what do we say? Sometimes words ain't enough. How great she is. I've been saying it for a while. Everyone was shooting me down when I said, "Oh, I would have Russo over Bunny Shaw." You take the goals away from Bunny Shaw, she don't. She offers more. Bugs Bunny offers more, personally. But I think Alessia Russo as a whole complete striker is probably on her day one of the best, and you just see her. Look how great was she on Saturday, mate?
Oh, it was unreal. I mean, I did actually say to the people sitting to the left of me, to the right of me, and behind me, today's the day we get a Alessia hat trick. And bugger me, when she started off that quick, I said, forget the hat trick, we'll have a double. But she's just so much of an all-round striker. As you said, take the goals away from Bunny Shaw and there's not much else. She can do it all. And Renee alluded to as much in one of her post-match interviews. You add in the finish from last Tuesday, and she's just, at the moment, she's in a class of her own.
Yeah.
And I've seen the debate again online today. What's her best position, 9 or 10? I said, well, at the moment, until they push Mario up into the 10, Leslie's our best 10 and 9. And I just, like I say, words ain't enough at the moment.
Yeah. Coming to you, Paul, obviously about Leslie. Catherine might be able to grab it, but it seems to be her record in the second part of the season is absolutely very, very clinical, isn't it? What do you think that boils down to? Do you think that's more we're trying to play more to her strengths, or what do you think that is?
Yeah, it does seem to be she has a little dip in form sort of around the Christmas time, sort of end of the first part of the season, beginning of the second part, and then she just comes into her own in that second half. Whether it's a couple of new players come in and she's just getting used to playing with them again, or what it is, I don't know. But to have a player that's coming into form right now when we've got this amount of games in this amount of competitions is fantastic. And I've only seen the highlights from Saturday, but she really looked like she was enjoying herself out there. And that's what it's all about. Yes, you're out there to do a job and play football, but you've got to be enjoying it while you're doing it. And everything she touched seemed to just be magic on Saturday.
Yeah. And any of you guys can answer this. Why I think there's a difference between Bunny Shaw and Alessia Russo is that Alessia Russo can play in the 10 and play at the 9. Whereas I think Bunny Shaw, she just plays through that 9. Like, people feed her the ball. If she's one-on-one with you in the goal, 9 out of 10 times it's going to go in. Like, let's not get that twisted. But I just think from Russo's point of view, from her whole round game, what she plays, she's so important to that team and the way that Renee makes Arsenal play. Does everyone agree with that, or does anyone have different opinions on that?
Yeah.
No argument.
I agree with that.
Yeah, bloody hell, that's a good show. Everyone agrees. That's good.
No,
Right.
I thought Kevin was going to speak because that's why I kind of backed off there. I thought Kev was going to go on a tangent there about obviously Alessia Russo, but again, it's another player that Arsenal are so lucky to have. I think I said this to Mark Booker the other day. I said that we took Alessia Russo off, and I know people will be shocked because recently our performances have been poor. Mariona, we took Alessia Russo off, we took Mariona off, and there was somebody else we brought off, and our performance just dipped. It just dipped. There wasn't enough balls going forward. There wasn't enough creativity within the midfield to then go into obviously striker's role. And you notice it straight away, and that was simply because obviously I'm not saying that Stina didn't do a good job, but we always know that Stina's a different type of striker to Alessia Russo, but in terms of creativity and creating it and then going back into midfield to get the ball off Tottenham or any other player that she plays against, Alessia Russo is one of the best at doing that. Not only will she obviously go and score goals and create things, she will also track back to get a ball off someone if she really has to help the team out. So that's where we get really, really lucky with Alessia Russo. We don't just get that striker's role, we get that all-round player from her.
Yeah, no, I agree. Chantal, obviously, just get your point with Russo. Like what we were saying, the second it seems to be in the second part of the season is kind of when she kind of goes off like a rocket, isn't it? Like I think her stats and her record for goals, say after in the new year, compared to the start of the season, is completely different. What do you put that down to? Obviously, being around football and yourself.
Yeah, I think that Christmas break really does affect players, even though like you think it's not that long. And then I'm sure like there's always an international break just before, just after that as well. And then I think it's just like that quick changing of having football dies down a little bit and then going back into it. You see it quite a lot that certain players at certain times of the years will have a bit of a dip. Some players will do it towards the end of the season where the fatigue's sitting in. Some players have a bit of a bad start to the season until they find their groove. And I think hers just seemed to be around that December, January time, which I don't think that's a bad area or period to have it in, so she can start strong, then she has a little bit of a wobble, and then she ends strong. Because I think like your starting and your ending is quite important in a season. But I just think like she does a lot for the team, so I don't know whether she's getting fatigued, because I've noticed when Russo and Frida plays, Russo will drop and Frida will be higher up than Russo. So they've kind of like switched, and then Russo's then overlapping and overtaking Frida to then get that through ball. Whereas Stina sits quite high anyway, and she waits for Frida to feed the ball to her rather than dropping as deep as Russo. And it's very frustrating because like we saw it yesterday, Russo pressed the keeper so quickly and so aggressively that the keeper ended up passing her the ball and she scored. And I wish Stina just did that a bit more. I find Stina doesn't press the back line or the defence as aggressive as what Russo does. And I think that's the difference in calibre when you see the little details there of pressing, being a little bit more aggressive, taking your chances when you can, rather than taking it as close to the goal as you can. And I think that's what makes Russo the all-rounder striker that she is. And the fact that she'll come deep at times when she's like, you know what, I've actually got to help defend in the box. She's not afraid to do that.
Yeah. Just want to say, please remember hit that subscribe button on the Arsenal Women Chat Show and the Mr. Arsenal podcast and Hyper Transfer. Really appreciated. Hi Claire, hi Roll. We're all from different parts of the UK. It's just easier to say that. Going to come to Laura actually, because we are going to talk about Frida Mornham. Don't worry, it won't be that long. Look, obviously, everyone knows that you're not the greatest fan. I particularly wasn't on Saturday either. Where do you see Frida going forward? Because for me, I know this sounds really, really negative. I don't really see a future for Arsenal anymore, especially with the rebuild and that. She is getting a couple of moments in the team where you want to be seeing her to prove what she can do, but she just like silly stuff, doesn't she? Like she'll get the ball, give it away, which every player does. Like let's be honest, Mariona done it a couple of times, so we're not just picking on Frida Mornham here. But she just seems very negative. Like there was a 3-on-2 chance, and she slowed it so much that momentum was lost. Where do you think it's going wrong for Frida? Apart from that, she's shit.
I think you've asked the wrong person for this question, George, because I think many people over obviously this season know how I feel about Frida. And I know we always say like let's not try and pull so much of the negatives out, because at the end of the day the girls could possibly see a clip of this podcast and then it's on Twitter and TikTok and whatever. So we try and not obviously dig out somebody's performance too much, but she really frustrates me. And somebody else said it in the chat as well, like she really frustrates the life out of me, as you said, George. She gets the ball and she just slows the play down. And Chantel touched on there that Stina Blackstenius doesn't press up as much, and I feel Stina does that much more when Frida Mornham's on the pitch. It's like Frida tells her, don't go, let's not press, let's stay back. And I've watched it many times. I just don't know what's going on with Frida this season. We know that she can pop up in big games, but she obviously hasn't done that this season either. And then of course she goes and scores an all goal for Spurs. I was planning on putting her on the Spurs side of the thumbnail for tonight, because that's probably where she deserved to be in terms of that thumbnail. It's really frustrating me with Frida, and you're right, I really don't see a future for her at Arsenal next season. It's maybe one that we haven't mentioned in much on the list of people that we could possibly see out the door. We seem to say, oh, Beth Mead's out, Manu's out, Laia Cadena, blah, blah, blah. But no one ever seems to mention Frida on that list. And I do think it's maybe one that we do need an upgrade on, because I feel like I wanted to see Mariona rested at the weekend. And of course, Vicky Palova can't come in and do that because she isn't on form either at the moment. But let's not forget the young girl suffered an ACL. And then you can't rely on Frida, because Frida isn't on form either. So Mariona has had to suffer because we can't rely on the midfield players that we have on the bench. And it honestly doesn't excite me when I see her name on the starting lineup either. Like it deflates me. But I'm at the point, even on Saturday, I was like, you know what, I'm going to ignore that name, and I'll just pretend we're playing with 10 players, because that's the way Frida makes me feel at the moment.
I think the comment in the chat has hit the nail on the head, though. Like, obviously, if we can take away, kind of talk about it professionally, like, Paul, I'll come to you. Like Haddad said, if Frida's not in the goals, then she's basically kind of not in the game. And I know that's people could say, well, that's like a Michael Owen comment, pretty obvious. But what is meant by that is like if she's not setting up goals or scoring, her off the ball play isn't as effective as, say, obviously, like you see for someone like Mariona, is it?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back a couple of seasons and you look at her off the ball, she was chasing everything. She was winning duels, and she was winning the ball and getting it forward pretty quickly. But this season, something seems to have changed. That she's sort of a step off the pace, and when she does manage to win a ball, it's either then given away again or it's passed backwards, and she's just frustrating to watch at the moment because historically she can be a better player. She is a better player than that, but something's just not right at the moment. Whether that's Rene's trying to change the way the team play, trying to play it faster. I mean, you've got to look at the players that have come in, the likes of Olivia Smith, Smilla Holmberg. They are fast players, and they do get the ball up front pretty quick. So whether that's just leaving Frida behind, or whether there's something else going on that we really don't know about, but there's something there that's just not quite gelling at the moment for her.
Because I think you look at it, if everyone's fit and firing, she doesn't get in our first 15 for me, personally. And it's like Reece said, if she was playing for another WSL team, would we look at her and say, oh, we want to sign her? Probably not. And do you know what? She has still got a lot to offer. Like, I'm not writing Frida Morning off. Like Laura said, you never know. People might share clips and it gets back to the players. So we're not completely writing her off. This is just opinions of fans. But I still think like she could go to Europe and offer stuff. So Norway, I think she can still offer stuff for them. So yeah, it's just, as Arsenal fans, I think it's very frustrating. I know there was a question that said, game in doubt, would we choose Frida or Vic? That's a really hard question. I don't think that's an easy answer personally, because I don't actually think Victoria Palova's been that great since she's come back from injury. Like that probably when she came on Saturday, Kev, was probably one of her better appearances, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's always difficult because as we say, she's coming back from injury. She's not played a lot of minutes, so it's always going to take a while, especially in one of those key roles where you're expected to sort of command what's going on. Yeah, it's always a naughty one. You would say time will tell, but we're at the business end of the season and we haven't got time. We need players to be firing.
The thing is, though, but Kev, we have been giving Frida time. So what is the excuse for Frida?
Yeah.
Like Frida has been getting time. Like she got 90 minutes on Saturday and no creativity apart from her own goal whatsoever. And even then, she was so easily pushed off the ball for that goal for Spurs. And this is the kind of thing I keep saying. Like, how much more time does Frida need? Because over the last few seasons, we have seen Frida start off a season really, really well and then just drift off into nothing and get game time every time. And then it just seems like this season Renee has noticed a little something. She's not getting game time like every week, but she's still getting game time. She's still, like, as I say, she's still getting 90 minutes here and there. So how much time does Frida get?
Yeah, but
it's no more.
It's the time that Vic Palova needs to get back into the swing. But until we find somebody that can sit alongside Kimmy for another year, and we can push Mario up into the 10, that's you've got decisions to make. And go back, how often are we going to see Leslie playing the 10 to cure that problem?
Yeah. Did someone say Georgia Stanway? I think that solves. I think in the summer, if because obviously we have to say if because it's not official or anything. If we sign Georgia Stanway, solves that problem because
Yep.
can sit alongside Kimmy. Can easily also be flexible. That if Kim Little wasn't playing a game, you could put her in the 6, and I think Georgia Stanway gives us so many more options. So, but it's right. Bit like what Dorian said. Obviously, Rick did do one a tackle and then set up a goal. So, if you're comparing the two, obviously Palova was more effective. So, and that I think that's the frustration I have is that I think if you had to choose out of the two, that obviously one of them has to stay, one of them has to go. Like what probably is going to happen. I know who my answer would be. And I just think it's comparing the Frida and Palova is quite difficult because obviously Palova's coming back from an ACL, where Frida's she's had some injuries and some health issues, but not compared to what Palova's had. So, but yeah, we'll move on.
Sorry, Claude, before we move on there, as Dorian says, is Frida blocking the space in the channels for Mead and Smith? That's two people that we know that could probably slot into Frida's position if we really need to. So if Frida isn't pulling away, put one of them in that position. You've got Ford. Not that Ford's playing spectacular this season either. Don't get me started on that unless she really kicks on from here on in. But but you've got Ford, Kelly, you've got two good wingers there that I'm saying good wingers, but I've just obviously. But you're blocking that kind of position for Frida Manham in terms of players that you know that could play in that position and has done before and proven that they're really vital in that position as well.
Yeah. Cool. We'll move on from Frida. Obviously, otherwise we'll be here for another 2 days. Chantal, come to you. Obviously, she's back. Ballanford's back. She's got her goal. Nice timing just before Chelsea. It was really good. All jokes aside, it was really good to see her come on, actually get a goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think she's needed that just to give her that boost because we know with having Olivia Smith and Chloe Kelly, it is a battle for all four wingers. And I know when I see Smith and Kelly, I'm more excited than when I see Ford or Mead. And I think going to the cup, like obviously Ford got herself goals there, and then coming back, first game back, she got herself a goal. So I think that's the momentum she needs to hopefully continue that level of moving forward, because I think it would be a good momentum to keep hold of. And she can do it. It's just, I don't know. I think she's like Frida as well. Sometimes she's frustrating to watch because sometimes she's good and then sometimes she's not good, or she just does things and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like you've done better than that. You can do better than that. So why are you playing like this? So I'm just hoping it's come at a pivotal time, especially going up against Chelsea, that it will give her that momentum and determination to go out there and be like, look, this is what I can do and score more against Chelsea.
Yeah. It just added up the tally for me of players that I've slagged off that score. So that's
Just slag them all off, George.
There's been Chloe Kelly before, Ford this time. So I know, probably going to say it's a Frida or banner hat trick at the bridge.
Yeah, I was going to say that there. Frida's going to come up clutch on Wednesday night now. She's like, fucked a lot of you, so good.
Well, she does. She does. Thank you, but we're still not changing our mind. Cool.
No more 10 more years for Frida.
No. One's enough. So before we finish, obviously, before we finish about the Tottenham game, obviously, we'll just chat about Kim Little. Obviously, Laura, I'll finish it with you. Obviously, she had the 400th celebration. She had the typho as well. She looked very, very emotional and didn't really expect that. I thought it was quite a nice touch from the club, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I've obviously put that picture up there, George, of that Kim Little standing on the pitch and that tifo up. Obviously, if anyone's seen the video of Kimmy Little coming out from the tunnel and obviously just taking that slight turn to block 10, and her emotion, obviously, I don't think she could contain it. And of course, we've never ever seen Kimmy Little like that. I think the only time we've really seen Kimmy that emotional was obviously the Champions League final. But yeah, what a nice touch, and of course, what a nice honour is to somebody who's dedicated 14 years of service to Arsenal. I don't think, and we keep singing it, 10 more years, 10 more years. If we could clone Kimmy to like a younger Kimmy, I think we could. But yeah, I think looking back at that video of her coming out the tunnel, I think it touched a few people's emotions in terms of watching that. So but what a nice touch, and of course that's always something special that Arsenal have in terms of the women's team. If you look across the WSL, that's something that no other WSL team could probably provide for their club, especially to a player who provides great service. I mean, you probably won't see that kind of banner for Millie Bright when she leaves Chelsea at the end of the season, would you?
No, bless her.
Yeah.
No. Just want to say evening to Mel. Hope you're doing well. Great to have you here, legend. Well, right. So we finished that. Well, let's just chat about Chelsea. Evening, Gav. The battle of where the champions of Europe, which is Arsenal, in case you didn't know, Gav, take on Chelsea. Obviously, we've got 2-goal lead going into the game. I'm not going to go through your lineups and that because I think we all probably expect the same similar lineup. But Kev, how are you feeling going into the game? Are you nervous, confident? Where you at?
Confident. Their defence is bloody shaky. Simple as that. We've got too much up front. We're just too strong up front for them. Provided we go out and play the Arsenal way, I don't see any problems.
Oh, I hope it's as easy as that.
It doesn't matter if they come back. We've got too much up front. They are not going to keep a clean sheet. Not a hope in hell.
Right, that's your analysis from Kev. So you don't need Sky Sports. Right. Paul, obviously it is 3-1. We have got an advantage, but they still got to put a professional performance through, haven't they? And still remember that Chelsea do still have some dangerous players like Sam Kerr, even though I hate to mention it, Lauren James and Alessia Thompson. So they've still got to play professional, haven't they? And just remember that.
Yeah, I mean, we can't be complacent. We've just got to go out, play our game.
That's the word I was looking for, complacent.
Yeah. Yes, we are 3-1 up, but it is only a 2-goal advantage. That could, if we go and do a couple of stupid things, which, if you do switch off for that moment, players like Lauren James, Sam Kerr, they're going to capitalise on them. So as long as we keep our heads, play our own game, hopefully get a nice early goal, then we'll just see it out. And we'll all be there. Well, I won't, but we'll be there. We'll out-sing them. We'll outnumber the Chelsea fans. So, not worried at all.
Cool. Right. That's what I like, positivity. Chantel, obviously, as we were saying, we're 3-1 up, but kind of the first goal is so important, isn't it? Because I think if Arsenal get that first goal, that takes it to 4-1. They've got to ban in 5 without not 5, sorry, 4 without a reply. So it's so big, isn't it?
Yeah, I think whoever scores the first goal will definitely take the momentum of the game. Obviously, if Chelsea gets the first goal, they've still got to get another one, which if they did, I think it would give Arsenal a wake-up call. But the way I look at it, it's technically half-time and we've seen bigger goal differences change during a match, and it's not a 45-minute match, it's a full 90 match. So I think we got to go out strong. They got to start off strong. They've obviously got 2 Australians coming back who I think were quite major for them, especially with how Chelsea's been playing. But like we started the podcast, we've got 2 great keepers to debate which one's going to start, whereas they've only got Hannah Hampton, who seems to be not playing her best, as she was rubbish against the Villa game. And definitely think if she continues that form, then it gives us a chance to score more goals and make it a mountain of a climb for Chelsea to get back into it. And I think if we take out their key players that they seem to be using at the moment, then the rest of the team ain't up to par, and I think we could take it from them quite easily. But that's only if the girls aren't complacent. So it depends which team's coming out, and I don't want them to be like a second Arsenal like they have been. No more comebacks. I just want us to be in the lead and stay in the lead for a game of a high stature.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll kind of finish it before we do the predictions. Laura, I think that's the difference as well. Like, obviously, we were quite open, didn't we, on Saturday? But I think on Wednesday, Renee and that will learn from that, knowing you can't give some of those players that amount of possession. But I think a big player that's back that is going to really help us is Steph Catley, isn't it? Like, you'll see I think you'll see a massive difference with Catley playing in that back forward than when Kadina did, won't you?
Yeah, obviously, we have said it all season long that you can see the big difference between Steph Catley and Laia Kadina in terms of Steph Catley has pace, Laia Kadina doesn't. And as Mark has just said there, Catley knows Kerr better than anyone. So she's played with her for years through, obviously, the Australian squad. So, and of course, even the 2 previous games against Chelsea, we have seen, obviously Sam Kerr wasn't there for the first one, but she was obviously there for the second one at the Bridge, and we seen Sam Kerr couldn't even get into the game. So, and we've seen obviously a lot of Wibben Moy and Steph Catley's relationship throughout the year that it's gelled well, is because obviously Leah hasn't been fit. So yeah, I'm not concerned about that, but what I am concerned is the one for me is, do we start Taylor Hines or do we start Katie McCabe? Because if Alyssa Thompson starts on that side for Katie McCabe, I don't really want Steph being pulled out to cover for Katie. And then Sam Kerr's left on her own up against Lotte Wibben Moy. Of course, we have seen that Lotte Wibben Moy can control the big game players, i.e. Bunny Shaw. She's still got her in her pocket.
Yes.
Excuse me. And then, of course, Lotte Wibben Moy then, if Katie starts, my concern is Lotte Wibben Moy then has to come over and cover Steph Catley's position, and then who's left there for obviously Alyssa Thompson, like who's there left for whoever starts on the other side, the other wing, that's then going to leave a big space. So I'm just hoping that if we do start with Katie McCabe, then I really do hope she's got better pace than what she did before she moved into centre back, like before Tuesday. So yeah, my concern is Kate McCabe or Taylor Hines, and I would go with Taylor Hines. So would
Yeah. Just to answer Rita's question, what would my lineup be? Van Donsela, Fox, Catley, Lotta. I'm a bit like Laura. It's McCabe or Hines, but I think they'll probably go McCabe. I can't see them putting McCabe in a quarter final at the Bridge on the bench. That'd be very telling and very brave. But it's not like Renee ain't done that before, so I'm not sure with that. Kim, Mario, Russo, Smith, Stina, and Kelly, and Beth Mead will come off the bench. That's what I think. I think Stina with that back four will probably have quite a field day, to be fair, like especially if Carpenter and Bronze leave as much space as they did in the Aston Villa game. And I just think you play your best players, Laura. Do you know what I mean? As well, like, and that's why I picked Van Donselo, and that's why I picked Smith and Kelly, because at the minute they're the in form. That Beth Mead is playing very well, but she is coming back from an injury. So, and could you imagine that pace with Livy Smith? Like Bronze won't know. Bronze will think she's back in like Barcelona again, like in the supermarkets with Kira. So
the thing is, but we've just got to be obviously careful because Lucy Bronze isn't afraid to obviously put a tackle in, and if Olivia Smith is up against her, then I really do hope that she's kind of careful because that could be a dangerous one if Olivia Smith gets a sore one. But we've obviously seen as well.
Could work in another way as well. Could work in another way. Could Livy Smith go to sprint past her and he puts Lucy Bronze on a yellow? She'll be too scared to go forward.
Yeah, true. Put them on the back foot. And obviously as well at the Bridge, we obviously seen Caitlin Ford had a good performance there as well. So I think Caitlin Ford up against Ellie Carpenter. I don't think Ellie Carpenter quite likes to come up against Caitlin Ford because although she knows how tricky she can be, but I always found that Caitlin Ford up against Ellie Carpenter was Caitlin always came out on top of that battle. So again, you've got that one as well.
And that's what I mean. There's so many good options.
I do love it how our two main worries in defence are their wing backs rather than their centre backs, because I think Russo will destroy the centre backs because at the moment I think they've been poor.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised they ain't gone to the trade description act with Naomi Dermers, but but yeah,
I'm so glad we didn't sign her or Kira Walsh. I'm so glad. When they say the Angels were watching out for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Claire Wheatley was watching out for Arsenal. She knew what she was doing.
Cool. We'll go around quickly before we finish. Get your predictions. So, Paul, what's your prediction?
I think we'll take him down. We'll take him 2-0 on the night.
Oh, I like that. Kev?
A nervy 3-2 win.
Oh, for God's sake. Chantel?
I think it's going to be 2-1. Don't ask me which side yet, but I know it's going to be 2-1, and that still puts us as top dogs.
Yeah. So, Laura?
I'm going to go 3-1 again.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely 3-1.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna drop the 5-0 this one. If that happens, I'll be on the floor. I'll be like, but I actually think we go through on the night, but I'm not sure. I'm toying between 2 or that we edge it 3-2. A bit like Kev, but not a nervy one. I'm not. like one of those that I don't know, like we go 2-0 up and we're 2-0 up at half time, so it's like 5-1, and then they just come back a bit, but it's too late. So they're desperate, disaster, they're broken. Not that I'm evil or cruel or nothing, but and I reckon I'm going to put this out there. I reckon Sonia Tuna Pasta is going to get a red card because I think she's going to mouth off too much, and this is what annoys me quickly. Like she can mouth off about the officials, say whatever she wants. She thinks, "Oh, I'll say it in French." No. We have French supporters, Sonia. We do have people that talk French. Even Girls Aloud heard it. So, yeah. So I reckon she could get a sending off. But yeah, just before we end the show, obviously we have got a giveaway. This is from the brilliant Ruth Beck. Who remembers this player? We have got a print of Leah Williamson. Don't worry, she's not a new signing. Not a new signing, guys. She but we've got that. So how the giveaway will work is you'll see it for everyone who has social media. We'll post it on there. It'll be posted into our WhatsApp community groups as well, so that people that are not on social media can get involved. And then Laura will work her magic. It'll be like the Wheel of Fortune. Spin the wheel, and then see who wins. But yeah, so on that note, just want to say thank you to everyone. Another great show. Obviously, we really, really appreciate all the support. Just remember, hit that subscribe button. We're getting really, really close to 400 now. Don't worry, that's not a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sign. I just went down the one hole. So yeah, so we're really close to 400. So that would really, really help if we could try and get up to that. Because then the more subscribers you have, the more content you have, and the more you put up with us. So appreciate it. So also remember, hit the subscribe button on all the channels that I mentioned on here. Just want to say thank you to all my guests. So thank you, Kev.
Pleasure as always, mate.
Cool. Are you at the game Wednesday? You're not, are you?
No, I'm going to sit on the sofa with a takeaway and a beer.
All right, nice. Only one?
Only one, yeah.
I meant beer, not takeaway. Cool. Yeah. Chantel, thank you as always. Are you at the game on Wednesday?
I don't know if she's crashed, George. She looks like she's crashed.
What,
So
like mentally
yeah.
or like physically?
I think she's crashed out. She's had enough.
Right. So thank you to Chantel anyway. Paul, thank you as always. Brilliant as usual.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll be watching at home. I'm probably going to have 2 takeaways and 1 beer. So I'll balance it out with Kev.
That's right. Also remember that we will have a watch along on Wednesday. So if people want to jump on that and support that, that'd be great. And Laura, thank you as always. Amazing as usual.
Always a pleasure. And for Chris, who asked when my vlog is going live, I am currently editing that at the moment. So it should either be live tonight or tomorrow. So yeah.
There you go. And make sure you subscribe to that. Laura does brilliant work with that. So please smash that subscribe button for that. So cool. We will be back. Obviously, some of these guys will be back on Wednesday. I'm at the bridge on Wednesday. I might try and see if I can do an Austin and come live on the watch along, but I will be with Austin. This is the worrying thing. So
you're absolutely buzzing then.
Yeah, absolutely buzzing. Me and Austin at the bridge. So, but yeah, we will see you guys on Wednesday, and everyone take care and come on, you Gunners.